Welcome to the home of General Hospital drama. In Port Charles, secrets explode, loyalties are tested, and shocking betrayals change everything. From heartbreaking romances to jaw-dropping twists and deadly rivalries, we bring you the latest GH spoilers, theories, and updates. Subscribe now, because in General Hospital, one moment can change lives forever. When Jocelyn grabbed that gun and fired that shocking shot at Cullum, I truly believed we had seen the last of him after his 6-month reign of chaos. The blood, the drama, the way he went down, it all felt so final. But now, with fresh evidence coming to light, I'm starting to think we might have been fooled once again. It looks like Cullum is still alive, and that changes everything I thought I knew about this storyline. The moment Z arrived on the scene and didn't even bother to check Cullum's pulse, I remember pausing my screen and wondering aloud to my wife if that was just sloppy writing or something more deliberate. Now it all makes sense. Z wasn't careless, he had other plans. From what we're seeing unfold, Z has decided to give Cullum a special new mission tied directly to the future of the WSB. This isn't just a simple survival twist, it's a calculated move that opens up layers of intrigue I never expected. I've always admired how the show can take a character we love to hate and flip the script so masterfully. Cullum surviving means his story isn't over, and honestly, as a longtime viewer, I'm thrilled because it keeps the tension alive in Port Charles. What really has me thinking deeply is how Z is shifting all the blame onto Cullum for the recent troubles. It's a clever narrative choice, and one that feels different from the usual General Hospital plots I've followed over the decades. In the past, we've seen villains take the fall cleanly. But here, Z is using Cullum as a shield while pulling strings behind the scenes. This blame game is creating new complications for everyone in Port Charles, and I can't help but wonder how it will ripple out to affect the people we care about most. Will the residents finally see through the deception? Or will Z's plan allow both him and Cullum to tighten their grip once more? I believe this approach makes the story richer, because it shows how power and manipulation are never straightforward in our favorite town. The return of Jason adds another explosive layer that has me on the edge of my seat. The possibility that Z might bring Jason back, but only if he agrees to work for the WSB, feels like a potential disaster in the making. I've watched Jason navigate impossible situations for years, and this new angle of control and obligation worries me as much as it excites me. If Z truly pulls Jason back into that world, it could create a cascade of problems that none of us saw coming. Imagine the conflicts this would spark, not just for Jason himself, but for everyone connected to him. It's the kind of high-stakes drama that General Hospital does best, and I'm personally convinced this development will test Jason's limits in ways we've rarely seen before. My heart goes out especially to Danny, Scout, and Alexis as they face this growing storm. The children have already been through so much, and now with Jason potentially returning under Z's influence, they're confronting an even larger and more haunting chapter. Alexis has fought hard to protect her family, and I can only imagine the inner strength she will need to face this new obsession and threat. As someone who has raised a family of my own, I feel deeply for her position. How does a mother shield her children when the dangers come from within their own circle? This storyline feels personal, and it raises questions about loyalty, protection, and the cost of secrets that the show is answering with gripping intensity. One thing I particularly enjoy about these recent episodes is how they build on past events while introducing fresh complications. Z's control over the situation, including his willingness to direct Jason's path, creates an atmosphere of uncertainty that keeps me coming back day after day. I've seen many control-driven plots over the years, but this one feels more layered because it ties together Cullum's survival, the WSB's future, and the Morgan family's struggles. It's not just about one villain winning, it's about a web of influence that could dominate Port Charles once again if Cullum and Z join forces effectively. I keep asking myself whether Jason will truly submit to this arrangement or find a way to break free, and the show seems to be teasing answers that arrive faster than I anticipated. The pace has quickened in a wonderful way, making every episode feel essential. For fans like me who have invested decades in these characters, seeing Jason potentially controlled by Z brings back memories of his earlier struggles, yet it feels entirely new because of the connections to Cullum. This blending of old and new is what keeps General Hospital so special to me. The emotional weight on Danny and Scout particularly touches me. Young as they are, they sense the shifting dangers around their father, and it adds such a heartfelt dimension to the larger spy and crime elements. Alexis stands as the pillar they need right now, and I admire how the writers are giving her strength while also showing her vulnerabilities. It's realistic, and it makes me root for them even more fiercely. Will this new obsession consume the family, or will it ultimately bring them closer together? I believe the latter is possible if they lean on each other, but the road ahead looks challenging. Looking at the bigger picture, the idea that Cullum and Z could work toward dominating Port Charles again sends a shiver of anticipation through me. It's bold storytelling that challenges what we thought was resolved. Cullum's brush with death has clearly not diminished his ambitions, and Z's strategic mind makes them a formidable pair. As a devoted viewer, I appreciate when the show dares to extend storylines like this. Instead of wrapping them up too neatly, it mirrors real life, where consequences linger and new threats emerge from old ones. I've always believed General Hospital shines brightest when it balances action with deep character exploration, and these developments deliver both. The personal cost to Jason, the worry for his children, the strategic games between Z and Cullum, every element feels interconnected and meaningful. I find myself discussing these episodes with fellow fans my age, and we all agree that the current direction brings back the excitement we loved in the classic eras while updating it for today. What fascinates me most is how quickly the show addresses the questions it raises. Just when I wonder about Cullum's survival, evidence appears. When I worry about Jason's freedom, new complications arise that make his choices even more compelling. This rhythm keeps the story feeling alive and urgent. For those of us who have followed the show through many decades, it reminds us why we fell in love with Port Charles in the first place, the endless possibilities, the emotional depth, and the sense that anything can happen. I truly hope the upcoming episodes continue to explore these threads with the same care. The potential reunion of Cullum with his shadowy goals alongside Z's influence on Jason creates a perfect storm of drama. Danny, Scout, and Alexis deserve to navigate this with the resilience we've come to expect from them, and I have faith they will. As someone who has cheered for these characters through countless crises, I remain optimistic that love and determination will ultimately prevail, even if the path is filled with more shocking turns. The beauty of General Hospital lies in moments like these, where survival leads to new missions, blame creates fresh alliances, and family bonds are tested like never before. I'm counting the hours until the next episode, eager to see how Cullum's survival reshapes the WSB's future and impacts everyone in Port Charles. This is the kind of compelling television that makes me grateful to still be watching after all these years. The heat is on, and I couldn't be more excited for what comes next. Sonny has faced many enemies over the years, but this feels different, deeper, and more personal. Z's growing influence is creating a brand new threat that has Sonny staring down a formidable opponent he never fully anticipated. What fascinates me most is how this new obsession is unfolding. Z isn't just pulling strings from the shadows anymore. He's positioning himself for total control, and that directly challenges Sonny's power in Port Charles. I've always respected Sonny's strength and loyalty to the people he loves, but watching him confront this emerging war with Z has me on the edge of my seat. The evidence is clear in every scene. Z's calculated moves, his willingness to use Cullum as an asset, and the way he's weaving Jason's potential return into his larger plans. All of it points to one undeniable truth. Z and Sonny are locked in a brand new battle that could reshape the balance of power in town. As a longtime viewer well into my retirement years, I find this storyline particularly compelling because it echoes some of the classic rivalries I loved in the past while bringing fresh complications. Sonny has protected his family and his territory with everything he has. Yet Z's new level of control feels calculated to strike at Sonny's vulnerabilities. Will Sonny see the threat coming in time, or will Z's obsession catch him off guard? The show is answering these questions with exciting momentum, and I believe this conflict will test Sonny like never before. It's not just about business or territory anymore, it's personal. This new war also ties beautifully into the worries surrounding Jason, Danny, Scout, and Alexis. If Z succeeds in tightening his grip, the fallout could reach Sonny's circle as well. I can't help but feel a mix of concern and thrill as I watch these threads connect. Z, using Cullum for a special WSB-related mission while simultaneously challenging Sunny, creates a web of danger that keeps me invested episode after episode. The writers are doing a wonderful job of making each development feel earned and urgent. I truly believe Sunny has the resilience to face this new enemy, but the road ahead looks treacherous. The obsession driving Z's actions makes him a different kind of adversary, one who plays the long game. As someone who has followed these characters for decades, I'm excited to see how Sunny responds. Will alliances shift? Will old friendships be tested? The heat is rising in Port Charles, and I'm loving every moment of this new chapter.